Hello,
Hi,
I'm
everyone. Oh,
I'm Addison Morris with the Women's Cannabis Chamber of Commerce, and this is Cannabis ClipNotes with Beth Conway, the founder and CEO of Compass Sales Training and Consulting. Beth is New Jersey's top sales empowerment coach and premier sales trainer in New Jersey, New York, and Pennsylvania, specializing in the cannabis industry. She is a New Jersey
thank,
based activist invested in developing a strong cannabis industry in New Jersey. She, Beth, recently launched the New Jersey Cannabis Chamber of Commerce. Her company, Compass Sales Training and Consulting, specializes in corporate sales training and career coaching. Compass Sales Training provides tailored solutions to boost product sales, enhance upselling techniques, and streamlining business operations for increased profits. Beth focuses on the effectiveness of consultative selling techniques. So, Beth, please explain what consultative selling is.
okay. Thank you so much, Addison. I really appreciate being here, and I absolutely love being a member of the Women's Cannabis Chamber of Commerce. I've met so many awesome women after joining the evening live sessions, and I'm looking forward to connecting with so many more of you. As people join the live, if you would like to comment what your role is or what your interest is and what role or goals in cannabis are, that way I can tailor our conversation to highlight some of what your needs might be and how I can help out. So, what I want to start with is a little bit about me and really why I'm qualified to speak about this topic. So, my name is Beth. I reside at the Jersey Shore with my two little girls. And up until a year and a half ago, I was in what I would call, extremely high pressure advertising sales. In my last role, I was the lead salesperson for the American Dental Association, selling print, digital, and live events. I was very successful. I sold between $4 and $6 million worth of advertising a year. What I found is that I did not have much of a work life balance. I was this kick ass salesperson, but I felt like, a very mediocre mommy. So one day I was on a Zoom call that went after 5 o'clock, and my children's had needs, and I decided this is no longer for me. And what I decided to do was I decided to bet on Beth. I had always been, very enthusiastic when it came to sales training. I thought that even if I was the absolute best at something, there's always room for improvement. So I was, star student in the front of the room, always pick me, I do this and I've been doing what you've told me to do. And it was something that I absolutely loved going to. And I found that when I listened to what the presenter had to say and I applied those tools, I saw immediate success. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to do that as well. And I went so far as reaching out to my former sales trainer to say, hey, this is what I'm looking to do. Do you think I would be a good fit for it? And he was like, absolutely. Let me know what I can do to help you. And so once I had that okay from someone, I started my business, Compass Sales Training and Consulting. What I do is I work with a variety of clients doing business coaching and then sales training for larger groups. And one of the things that I want to put an emphasis on is, sometimes people don't see themselves in a sales role. But I would challenge you to think in a way, if you own a business or you lead a sales team, or if you in your job need to acquire clients and new business, you are most certainly in a sales role. And sales sometimes gets a bad rep with that like used car salesman, or salespeople are liars. And I would love to challenge that idea in saying it does not have to be that way. I absolutely love being in a sales role. I've sold everything from t-shirts on the Seaside Heights Boardwalk to blue chip fine art on cruise ships, in top art galleries. I've sold Cadillacs, obviously advertising, and now I sell essentially all of those years of sales and sales training to help others. My goal is to help others' business grow. So when Addison approached me, I thought a really good topic for today would be consultative selling. So I'm just going to pause for a minute and I'm going to take a look at the notes to see what some roles are. Account executive at Cannabis Transportation Services, physician with cannabis on writing meds, considering working. I'm in the D9 space in Minnesota. Okay, awesome. So I really appreciate, and then as people join, if you're just joining now, please feel free to share your role so that I can kind of tailor this conversation. So our goal is to be talking about consultative selling. So what does that even mean? In my eyes, consultative selling is building very deep connections with your customers and selling based on value. And I would dare to say that whether you are a bud tender in a dispensary, even if your role for the day is checking IDs as people walk in the door, you are in a consultative sales role and you really can set the tone for your patient or your customer's buying experience. At the same time, if you are transporting cannabis, you are going to be in a sales role. You're going to need X amount of dispensaries on board and working with you and cultivators in order to move your business forward. Now, what I find is a lot of times people look at their, pipeline. So their pipeline and their prospects are anyone who could be a potential client for you. A lot of times people list their prospects like this. What I like to do is look at your prospects this way. So how do we take, these 5, 10 people on your radar, might buy, might partner with you, and how do we move them this way so that we're getting closer to a close business, close contract? And what I really love to do is I love to find out what my customers' needs are. And so that really starts with that deeper connection. A lot of times people hop into a role and they say, here's all the great things that I do and why you should buy. And I would instead challenge everyone to get a feel for the customer in front of you. What are their needs? What does success look like? And so I love to use what I would call qualifying questions. So I'm going to take a look at my notes here real quick. When I think of qualifying questions, I love to ask people, tell me more about your business. What does success look like? If I'm at a networking event, I went to a South Jersey cannabis professionals meetup last night. There were a few people that I specifically said, what were you hoping to accomplish tonight? Because I might be able to help them. So if you kind of pause and think less about selling you and your services and start to uncover what does the person in front of you need? That way you can tailor your products and your services to fill that gap that they're experiencing. Depending on what it is that you're selling, your product or your services. So let's say, for example, with the transportation, when you're speaking to a prospect, you could say something along the lines of, what have you seen work really well? What have you seen that you don't like? I ask this to my customers all the time, help me understand what good looks like. Help me understand what success looks like. Tell me what you've seen that you don't like. If I don't know what my prospect does and does not like, I don't know how to pivot to help them best. So that's really one of my favorite questions. What have you seen in the past that's worked really well? What have you done? Who have you worked with? Who have you worked with that you didn't want to work with again? Again, we're spending as much time as possible in the early stages of a conversation and rapport building, getting an understanding what they need. That way, you can really tailor your products and solutions to fit them. So, I'll give you a good example. I find that when I was in advertising, people would hop on a sales call, whether you're selling virtually or in person, and they would say, okay, here's me, here's who I am, here's what I do, and here's 37 slides. And, someone is just bored to death listening to these slides. Where instead, if you think of it this way, if I spend 15 minutes saying, oh, tell me about you. How'd you get into this role? This is an interesting company. How long have you been involved? Where did they come up with a name for that? What are some of the challenges that your reps experience in the field? What would success look like after this call? Some people like to do what keeps you up at night? Well, it's not necessarily my favorite, but I've helped my customers with exercises where we can come up with, 10, 15, 20 questions that they can start to ask their prospects and really uncover what their needs are. So, let's say we've spent 15 minutes asking questions. Now it's time to really work in a very consultative type of way. Oh, you mentioned that this is a challenge you're having. Based on what you've shared with me, I have this solution A that I think would be a really good fit for you. Now we're going to pause for a minute. Not only are we going to say this is a good fit for you, but now we have to explain why. And what this comes down to is what I call features and benefits. Every single one of your products or services should immediately be followed up with, here's a feature of this service, and here's the benefit to you. Now, in some of these, ancillary businesses in cannabis, it's a trickle down effect. Not only is there a benefit to you, client, but there could also be a benefit to their clients. And so, if you're able to say, here's this feature, here's the feature to you, and then here's a benefit to you, and here's an additional benefit to your clients, we're doing what I call selling based on value. We've got valuable items, we've got valuable solutions, and here are the benefits to you and your business. And that really works in that consultative way. No one ever wants to feel that they're getting a canned sales presentation. They want to be heard. And there's such thing as a time obligation in sales. So the more someone talks, the more you can get your prospect in sharing, the more obligated they may feel to be honest and upfront with you, when it comes time to giving objections. So once you really know what your prospect is interested in, you take your product or service, you match it to their challenge, you highlight a feature, you highlight a benefit, and then you continue on that path. And you nod the whole time. Okay, so based on what you've shared with me, you've got this challenge. I have this solution that'll be a really great fit. Here's a feature of it. Here's the benefit to you. Do you think that's something you might be interested in? So now you're nodding. You're nodding to get them nodding. You're asking them, is this something you might be interested? You're not saying right now, are you buying? You're saying, well, you might be interested. Yes, I might be interested. Okay, we know that this is a good fit. You also shared that you're experiencing this challenge or you have this goal. Based on that, I have this other product or service that I think would be a really good fit. Here's a feature, here's a benefit. Does that sound, like that might work for you? And they're nodding. Yeah, okay, that might work for you. Great. So we know these two solutions are definitely going to be a great fit with you based on what you shared with me earlier. Is there anything else you can think of? And they'll take a minute, they'll say yes and no. One of the things I really love to share with my clients is I am your person. I am here for you. I am here to earn your business. And people buy from people they like and trust. So let's say, we've gone through these features and benefits of a product and service, and now it's time to, ask for the close. So, okay, we know you're interested in these two components. What would you need from me in order to be able to move forward? So they might say, well, I need to know the price. I'm on a budget. You say, okay, help me understand when it comes to prioritizing how you choose a partner. Is it based on price? Is it based on efficiency? Is it based on timing? Is it based on the amount of effort you might have to put in? And then someone will get back to you and say, well, okay, it's definitely based on timing and the amount of effort. So they might pay more if they have to put less effort in. I like to tell people, if I don't know what you do and you don't like, I'm not able to pivot to help you. And I probably say this anywhere from 3 to 4 times during any, sales call. I'll say, I need to know what you like and don't like. If I follow up and send you information and this does not work for you, if I don't know, I am not able to help you. And so let's say, you do share the price and they're saying, okay, this is a great fit. One of the things I find people can sometimes be challenged with is the close. How do we ask for the sale? Now, if you followed this process we just discussed, we've already done 2 soft closes. And the soft closes, is this something you think you might be interested? They've already said yes. So now you're saying, okay, so we know these 2 things are a good fit. I've shared the price with you. Is that something you think will work in your budget? And they're going to say, oh, I don't know. I don't know what my budget is. Okay, when do you think you're going to have an idea of budget? And they're going to say, oh, I need to talk to my boss. And so there's some more questions you can start to ask here in that consultative way. I'm just curious, and I'm not holding you to this, but if you were the sole decision maker, based on our products and services and the value you see here, is this something you would be okay with moving forward with? Again, I know you're not the decision maker, but I just want to, make sure that you're on board. And they're going to say yes or no. If they say, oh, I'm not sure, you can say, I really am so interested in earning your business. I'm here for you. Help me help you. What additional information would you need from me in order to move forward? And then you zip it. And you wait for your prospect to tell, oh, well, budget is really tight and this, that, and the other. And again, you go back and say, I totally get budgets are tight. My budget is tight too. If we are able to solve this problem or solution for you, would that spend be worth it? They're typically going to say yes if you're offering something valuable. I know, Addison, that we're getting low on time, but these are just, a few examples that I really try to highlight when it comes to consultative selling. Again, so whether this is transportation, in a dispensary, you have a POS system, if you have a SaaS program, anything when it comes to business, I really think that putting that focus on selling in a consultative way, asking people, tell me about your business. What do you need for your business to grow? What were you hoping to accomplish by attending this event? Is a really great way to work for your clients and earn their business. Often what I ask people is, and do you have non-sales touch points? I think those are really important in consultative selling. You meet with someone, you say, oh, we've got this event coming up. I think it would be a really good fit for you. Again, you're working for someone else and showing them that you're invested in helping grow their business. And it's not just a continual sales pitch. I have plenty more in my bag of tricks. So if anyone is interested in what business coaching or sales training could look like, you can connect with me on LinkedIn or reach out to Addison and she can send you my way. Just one thing I'd love to share is there's a gentleman I recently started working with, very successful, been in business a long time. We now meet twice a week and we have crafted an elevator pitch for him and we work on his sales process, filling a pipeline up, moving it this way. And he came to one of my sessions today, so excited for the first time, with really great feedback on how using this approach, he is seeing a difference in his business versus the people he meets now that only are interested in talking about themselves. So I hope everyone enjoyed this and found this very useful. And please feel free to reach out to me if I can be a resource at all.
So I think that no matter what aspect of the cannabis industry or cannabis market that you're in, this is very valuable information. This is also part one of Beth Conway's series of 4. These will be available live and then also available on the Women's Cannabis Chamber of Commerce social media, particularly the LinkedIn page, and the website. Thank you, Beth.